what a
that.
man and a woman was at 9 years
Addison
old. You
said
did.
it. Addison said it.
Who? Okay, Addison. Why do you resort to somebody being black? Then they got to say the N word.
I didn't say
Like
that she has
that's the
to.
only thing that
That's
you
what I
affiliate with
said.
being black.
I didn't say she has to. No.
No,
You
no, no, but
did. You said,
so
"We'll say the N word." Then
Yeah,
Not for
I
nothing,
just
but that sounds pretty offensive. Like if I say I'm black and you say the N word, like bitch, what?
no. Okay,
like
so
it's
you're
okay.
missing the
Like
point.
it's okay
She's
for anyone to
pretending
use
to be
it.
black to make a point, and I'm making a
What do you
point
What do you
back.
mean she's
No,
pretending?
but the point
what?
was
Because
if
she's
you
not
claim you're
black.
something, if you claim that you're something that you're not, that was the whole point. That was the analogy. It had nothing to do with saying a word.
No, I was taking her logic to the next step. If she's being
Okay, and I'm going to
genuine,
take your
then she
logic.
should be able to say that.
Identifying as something, even if it's a race, doesn't inherently mean that it's true. I can identify as a billionaire. Does it make it true? No, because my bank account says otherwise. So it's the same thing. If you have to transition into something, that means you're not that to begin with. And yes, you do
That's
choose
not what
to
trans
transition,
means.
but
That's
you do
not what
not
trans
choose. Hold on.
means.
You do not
That's
choose
not
to
what
suffer
trans
from.
means.
Hold on.
That's not
You
what
do.
it means.
Hold on. Let me speak because
That's not
that
what it
What does
means.
interrupts
trans
when you
mean?
know
Okay, hold
somebody's
on.
right. So just chill out. You
That's
do
not what it
not get to
means.
choose to suffer from gender dysphoria, but you do have a choice to transition or not to transition. Just like people with depression, there's many ways to combat depression. Some people take medication and others do other things. Let's say exercise or sports, right? To combat that depression. There's multiple ways to handle a situation. So yes, at the end of the day, it is a choice. You chose to do it.
No,
Medically
you choose
transitioning
what
is a
to
choice,
do.
but being trans is not. What is hard to
Correct.
understand about that?
Suffering from gender dysphoria is not the choice. Transitioning is the choice. Nobody is forcing you to take
Being
medication,
trans
to
does
get
not mean
surgeries, or
that
to
you
socially transition. That is completely up
Okay,
to the
I feel like
individual
you don't know. I
themselves.
feel like you don't know what the definition of trans is, because it is not. It
They
is not
don't.
the act of transition
Trans
that
is a
it makes you
prefix,
trans.
meaning to go across. What are you saying?
No,
Yes, it is a prefix. It's an.
transgender,
Oh my gosh, bro.
transgender simply means that your gender identity and your
No.
biological sex do not align.
You
That is
said
what it
we
means.
don't know what trans means. You said the
Oh my
word
God,
trans
I'm
at first. Now
obviously
you're trying to
talking-
add
I'm
things
obviously
onto it.
talking-
Let's
I'm
discuss
obviously
the
talking about
word trans
transgender.
first. You
Why?
were saying
That's
trans.
relevant to this
You
conversation.
were saying the
I'm
word trans. You
obviously
did not
talking
say
about
nothing about transgender. Now you all of a
I am
sudden you want
obviously
to.
talking about transgender. It's called using context.
Let's talk about the word
This
trans. Let's
entire
talk about the word
no, I'm
trans.
not
Let's
gonna
talk about
the
the.
word
Oh,
trans.
you don't want to
That's
talk
fucking
about
dumb.
that because it's a prefix, right?
We were talking about transgender people.
What is a prefix?
Use
What is a
context
prefix?
clues.
What is a
Learn to use
prefix?
context clues. Obviously, when I
I
say
no,
trans,
no.
I'm
You
talking
said
about
trans.
Yo,
transgender.
you can
Trans.
easily Google how do you
Trans.
become transgender, and it will literally tell you. You can look that up, Doobie.
Oh my god! Oh my
You can
god!
look it
You
up.
guys are
Honey, wait,
What is
hold
the
on.
definition of
But
I
trans?
swear I'm
whether
talking to
hold
a
on,
bunch of
Doobie,
fucking
hold on. Whether
incompetent
you
people.
wait, whether you socially transition or medically, both are still a choice.
You can be trans and not transition, because being trans
Oh
is not
God.
the act of transitioning. It is not the act of transitioning.
I have
It
a
just
question.
means
Is
that your
God.
gender
I have a
identity
question. Is
and your
trans
biological
a
sex
verb?
don't align.
Is trans a verb?
No, trans is a prefix. Why are we talking about language structures? What's the
That's
point?
because it's
You're
called
on
common
track, aren't you?
sense.
No,
I'm pretty
it's called
sure
It's
they're
called
using
common
learning how to use
sense.
context clues.
To
Apparently,
go
you never learned
across
that in
is a
English.
motion. It is
Obviously,
a
when I say trans, I'm
motion.
talking about
Wait, let's
transgender
look up the
people.
definition of transition. The process or a
Oh,
period of changing
Jesus.
from one state or condition to another.
That's not what trans means.
But we are talking about transgender people.
What is You're
Transgender.
transitioning. How many
Oh
trans
my
people say they
god.
transitioned into the opposite gender? Can we use
Yes,
common sense for once?
when they
No,
take
they
the
didn't.
steps to transition, then they have transitioned.
Okay, let me ask you a
Thank
question.
you,
Let's
Taylor.
get to the
Thank
bottom
you,
of this. Hold
Taylor.
on.
Prefix
What do you
trans.
think transitioning is? What do you think
Extending
transgender
across
is?
or
Oh my
over transnational, transregional, or trans-American.
What's your definition?
Somebody put in the
Doomy,
comments.
what is your definition of transgender? Please explain to me.
It is when your gender identity and your biological sex do not align. The opposite of that is cisgender, where they do align. That is what transgender is. The act of transitioning, yeah, that is a choice.
No,
But
you
being
just described
trans
gender dysphoria.
is not.
You just described gender dysphoria.
No.
Gender dysphoria is a lot more complex than that and has
It's
a
a
lot of things that
diagnosis.
goes into it. Gender dysphoria is a separate mental illness.
Yes, it's a mental illness. It's where you feel discomfort with
Actually,
your body.
it's a
wanting to be
disorder,
the
it's not an
opposite sex.
illness.
That's what you just described. Now I'm asking you, what makes
It's
a
a
person
disorder.
That's not what I
transgender?
described.
That says that a
That's
person
not
is
what I
suffering from
described.
gender dysphoria.
I did not say that being trans is when you are uncomfortable
So
with your
would you
gender
say that?
expression. I didn't say
So
that.
would you say that anybody could be trans and you just have no idea? You're basically saying that there's no
Yes.
criteria. If you're not transitioning, then you could be trans. So right now, me as a female and a woman, I could just say I'm trans, and by your logic, that would be a fact.
Do you want the short or the long
trans, then
answer?
yes.
Okay, so I'm trans.
There's a short and a long answer
I'm
to
trans,
that
and I'm
question.
telling you, y'all are wrong.
Anybody can be trans, but no, you can't just wake
Okay,
up
so I'm
tomorrow
saying that
and
I'm
be
trans, and y'all
No,
are
it's
wrong.
developmental. That's how it is. You develop your gender as you grow up. It's not something you just choose one day. So you can't just be trans tomorrow
How do
because
you develop
choose.
into a woman?
You develop your gender that way. How did you develop?
No. How do you develop into a woman?
Oh my
You
God.
grow into it. What do you
How?
mean? I'm not a woman, so I don't know how
Okay,
you
so
develop into
are you a
woman.
man?
Yeah,
Okay, how do you develop into a man?
I grew up that way.
No. How? But how?
All of the social norms that I resonated with fit with me.
Like
My
what?
internal self of
Like
being
what?
a man fit with me.
Like what?
Like, what do I resonate with in society?
No. What does society determine your gender?
It's a portion of it, but no.
Okay, if society determines your gender, then
I
us
just said
as
a
society,
portion of
we're
it,
going to say
no.
that a trans woman is not a woman
No, I said a
by your
portion of
logic.
it, no.
Because y'all
You
keep
didn't listen to
bringing
me.
society into
You didn't
it, but
listen to me.
no,
You didn't
because you
listen.
keep saying, well,
No, you
society,
didn't
well,
listen.
society dictates
I said a
society. Now,
portion
when
of it.
society denies that, now
No.
all of a sudden it's not society.
I told you that it's a facet of it. It's a portion.
Okay,
so you
what
can't
makes
pick
you a
one
man? It's a
portion
very
of
simple
it.
question. If you ask me what makes me a woman, I can answer you in less than a second.
That's because you want the simple answer when it's a descriptive
No.
long answer, and you
It's not
won't
a hard
give
answer. It's
you
just
exactly.
you're making it hard for
No,
no reason.
identity is a longer than a 2-second
What makes you a
response.
man? What makes you a man?
Why don't you shut up for more than 5 seconds and I'll answer?
Why don't you answer instead of giving me some 1900 answer?
You won't
Just
let
because
me
he's
give a
not giving you the
response.
answer you want doesn't mean he's not answering.
No,
It's
he's not
because
giving me a answer. I'm
No,
asking, he's
you
like,
want
well,
the
humans
condensed
are
response.
society,
You
the
just don't like the
physiological,
answer.
entities and blah, 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 all these atoms. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear an answer. You're saying social constructs, society, etc. What in society? What are those social constructs that make you a man?
That are a part of me being a man? Do you want that answer?
How are you questioning this? Like, for real? How are you sitting here questioning
Because
what makes you a
gender
man?
identity is very complex.
It's personal. It's individual. It's developmental.
Okay, but I'm not asking for other people. I'm asking for you, Addison.
Yeah, will you let me answer?
Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so gender identity is going to be your own psychosocial development. So
I'm
it might
asking
be
about yours. I don't care the reasoning behind it. For you, just talk about you.
and this is me answering for me. So be quiet. This is how you can listen. You shut your mouth. So, because it's a psychosocial individual development, my individual development aligned with my sex, meaning I was born male and I continue to develop with the male characteristics in the gender identity that is typically associated to being a man, meaning I liked certain types of sports that were more associated to men. It means that I like certain types of clothing. It means I liked to present myself as more of a male, as well as I just knew that it aligned internally with how it feels and sounds to say man, to be a mister, to be a boy. All of these aspects are all part of your individual gender identity. It's not one specific thing. And that's the issue with this discussion is you all want one specific thing as a response to what is your gender or what is your identity when it's complex and it's vast. And it's not one of any of these things. It's all of them combined. Does that answer?
Do you know that there's an NBA, a WNBA? There's sports. You know, every gender plays sports, right? There's women football, men's
That's
soccer,
why I said
women's soccer,
typically
etc.
that you associate towards males.
Wait, no, but I'm confused because you just brought up sports, and because you're a man, you play sports. That means you're a man. But there's plenty of women out there who play sports, including UFC and MMA.
That's why I said typically of what you associate.
Yeah, so
to what
I'm
men
a little
go
confused
into.
on that again. And even if somebody is playing sports, even if there's a woman, because I used to play sports with my brothers, right? And we used to do WWE, slamming each other, fucking against the wall, etc., putting holes in the wall, right? Even that still don't make me a man. Even doing all that, it does not make me a man.
Yeah, you're picking
Determine
one
gender.
portion of what I said again. You're picking one aspect of the multifaceted response that I gave you and saying that's not what makes you a man. Correct. I'm not saying one of these things makes me a man. I'm saying all of them do. Do you get that? So now you can't pinpoint one thing and say that's not it.
So what you're saying is, well, it depends on the individual. And if an individual feels like, oh, guess what? Football equals man. I'm playing football. That means I'm a man. That means that's a fact right there.
No, that is a portion.
You said based on the individual experience. What you just said, what you stated was because you felt like you play men's sports, etc. You went on. So that's based on your individual feeling. Now, I'm going to say if I have an individual feeling of saying that a woman is equals, I don't know, wearing Jordans, right? Let's just say.
If it's associated to your identity, sure.
I'm wearing Jordans.
If it's associated to your identity, sure. Like, that's what you're not understanding, that it's individual based, that because I think that this resonates with being a man doesn't mean that all men will, or that this is the factor that decides what is a man. It means that it's my
what you like, what you don't like, what you do, and what you don't do does not determine your gender. Like, I hope y'all know that.
It's okay. Can you not pick one aspect of what I said and recognize it's a vast amount of
I'm
things?
just saying that doesn't determine your gender.
I didn't say it did.
You just kind of.
Can I say something real quick? So, Addison,
conceded to my point.
This is the second time you done blatantly disrespected people. For one, you asked somebody to drop the N-bomb, knowing that they were white. Now, the second time, what you did is hold on.
Got it.
Then you tell a woman to shut up. I have a question. Where is your moral compass at, and where do you really stand as a person? Because I feel like you have some hostile secret aggression behind you that I will never stand behind. And it's like really socially awkward, bro. Like, did your mother raise you? Did your mother raise you to be like that, to tell a woman to shut up and blatantly disrespect her? I just have a question.
If somebody asks for a response and doesn't give me the chance to respond,
do me. I am speaking. Do me.
Even when you told me to shut up, I still didn't even disrespect you. That's the funny part. But for a community that always wants to respect but doesn't give it, yeah, this is why I don't conflate to those pronouns in this gender bullshit. This is exactly
I love
why.
how if you feel disrespected, it somehow justifies your already continuous disrespect for the community. It's the most asinine logic
I'm just not going to sugarcoat anything that I feel.
Though? Are you
You've never been respectful towards
But
the
wait a
community.
minute. How are you determining if who's disrespected in what community? Are you within that community?
You wouldn't be up here arguing against the trans community if you advocated for it. It's very
Are you trans, though?
No,
Are you trans? So then how are you up here speaking for the community when there's a lot of people in the community that disagree with you? There's Avani was up here. I think there was some other trans people.
Ooh, so you're tokenizing Avani. Great.
So how are you advocating for the community that does not agree with everything
I love that you tokenize the trans community with one person.
I didn't tokenize anyone. I was making a point. How just like you tried to advocate for the Black community by saying that the N-word was something that we just spout off and just call other Black people.
Because I can advocate for what I believe in without tokenizing.
So you can advocate for what you believe in, even if it's complete BS.
No, what have I said that's BS?
Yes.
Be quiet.
Name one thing that I've said that's been BS.
Nobody was talking to you. We're talking to him. And see, that's the other problem.
So you can't name anything
you can get up here and speak for people that you have no connection to that community with.
So what
you probably haven't even gone and talked to any of these people. You're reading this out of the text. And let me ask you this. When did you start advocating for this community? Answer that question.
I advocated for
when he got the shit kicked out of him
LGBTQ plus community for years.
When did you start advocating? I was talking to Addison, first of all. Nobody asked
years, like over a decade.
Over a decade. And how old are you?
I'm 34.
You're 34. So you've been advocating for this community for over 34 years. And what exactly have you done for them?
What do you mean?
That's a simple question. What have you done? If you've advocated for them, then what have you done?
For rights. I go to protest. I stand for my community. I have discussions with people like this. I talk to
and they're okay with you coming up here and talking for them and also disrespecting someone else within the community. They're okay with that?
Yep, every single one of them is. Yep.
Every single last one of them is okay. So you're beginning to tell me everyone. So basically, you're saying everyone that agrees with your ideology and just fuck all the other trans people that don't.
No, I've had plenty of my trans friends actually challenge my views.
I'm not talking about your friends. You're talking about you advocate for the community, which encompasses the entire community. Even if they do not agree with you, you still advocate for them. Is that what you're doing?
No, I advocate for what I believe.
You only advocate for the people that agree with you.
Yep.
I believe my beliefs are inclusive, so yes.
Okay, so you think that
Addison,
only the people that agree with you, that's it.
If they agree with the inclusive ideology of not discriminating.
Sure. So
then,
all of the
that's a
other
good thing.
trans people that do not agree with you, what about them?
Yeah, I don't agree with them. No,
Okay, so you don't advocate for them either?
I do not advocate for people that stand for hateful
That do not
ideologies,
agree
no.
with you.
If it's hateful, no.
If it's hateful, what if they just don't agree?
Oh, I'm fine with people disagreeing. I have discussions all
Okay,
the time.
so
where
then
people
again,
disagree.
you said you advocate for the community, but then people that within the community that do not agree with you, you do not advocate for them. So again,
If
you
there
only
are
advocate for people that agree
no,
with you within the
incorrect.
community. Is that right?
If their disagreement is based off of hateful ideologies, no.
How do
I
you
do
know?
not support
What
that.
do you mean?
She didn't say
How are
anything
you to
about
determine
hateful.
that?
It's
No one said
contextual.
anything.
Depends on the
Amanda
discussion.
didn't get up here and say anything about being hateful. It
depends on
never
the
once
discussion.
did she spout anything hateful.
Who?
So you mean to tell me that? So you mean to tell me you only advocate for the community once they agree with you? Otherwise, just fuck them, right?
Yep.
No, if their ideology, depending on the context, is hateful, I will not support them.
That's not what I
It's
said
pretty
to
simple.
you. I said just in disagreement alone. You can't put a qualifier on that. I'm asking you a direct question. You said that you only advocate for the community, for people that actually agree with your ideology, and unless they do not agree with your ideology, you do not advocate for them.
Incorrect. No, I've had
Hateful
plenty
or
of people.
not, it does no. And I'm talking about people
want me to
just
respond?
disagreeing with you. You're
Do you
the
want me
one
to respond?
determining that it's hateful based on the things that disagree with your ideology. That's
No,
what
this
you're
is a
saying.
no,
It's
this is a
hateful if
contextual
they
answer.
do not agree with your
No,
ideology.
incorrect.
That is what you're
Incorrect.
saying. That
Incorrect.
is correct. That is what you just said.
No, you're
It
speaking
is.
for me, and I will speak for myself. So
No.
I disagree
I'm not
with
speaking
people
for
that.
you. I'm not speaking for you at all.
Yeah, you are.
Because you know what? Quite frankly, I don't speak for people without a brain. Okay, I
Cool,
can't do
ad
that.
hom. Love it.
All right.
Love the ad hom.
No.
Bring them.
You don't
Bring
have
the ad
one.
hom. Bring
You
it.
just
Hey,
said
Mod,
it's
Mod.
ad hominem for the 20 millionth time. You keep saying ad hom, and that's why I
Because
said you
I
don't have
haven't
a
ad
brain.
hom
He just
anybody in
learned
this
what that
discussion.
word
I've
You've
been
been
here
saying the
for
right
a
word.
minute.
You've been saying the word wrong for the past 2 hours.
Because I know how to be respectful in discussions. I don't ad hom.
ad
You told me to
hominem.
shut up. What are you talking about respectful?
Because
So
you were
again,
interrupting
you
me.
just
That I
said
don't
you
have to
only
be respectful
advocate
for
for
that
people
interrupt me.
within the community that agree with you. And I'm asking you,
No.
the people that disagree with you, do you advocate for them?
If
Yes
it's
or
not
no?
hateful, yes.
How are you determining what's hateful?
Exactly.
Depends on the context. Give me a
By
context and I'll
whom?
tell you if it's
By
hateful.
whom? Wouldn't it only be hateful to the people within the community?
No, I believe that there's objectively hateful things. In
Okay,
terms
so
of
you're the one
ideology.
determining who's hateful based on your own ideology. Is that correct?
No, I think it's objective. I don't think it's based off of
Okay,
me.
so then if people in the community don't find it to be hateful, then what does that say then? Do you still advocate for them?
No, if they don't see that it's hateful, then they're
Okay,
just
so
wrong.
then you advocate for the community despite people disagreeing with you.
They can disagree with me as long as it's not hateful. Yeah.
Jesus Christ Almighty! And but you're the one determining what's hateful. You're the
No,
only
I
one
think
that
it's
can do that.
objective. No, I think it's objective.
It's subjective
not me
to what?
deciding.
To
It's
what?
objective to reality to me.
To what reality?
To that there's objectively
If they're
hateful
okay,
ideologies.
if you're within this community, because there's a lot of them that said they don't want you to speak for them at all.
Cool. I don't care about them.
You don't care about the community then, because there's people within the community that don't want you to speak for them, and especially if you're incorrect.
Cool.
So how
cool.
about you get off of your soapbox
No,
and you
I
advocate
haven't.
for how about you advocate for the things that you actually know about? Because
I've only
your
stated
view
things
is
that I
only
know about,
one-sided.
so-
Your view is based off
Nope.
of the things that people agree with you on.
No, I've been correct.
That,
with all my
that would be
statements.
correct. You don't know anything about the community other than what your friends have told you within the community. So if naturally you're going to
everything I've stated
advocate
is
for them
correct, and
because
if I
they're on
miss-
your
if I-
side. But the people
No,
that
if I
don't
misstated
that
something,
disagree
then-
with you, and again, what do they need an advocate for?
No,
What do
I'll
they need
concede
you to
if I'm
advocate
wrong.
for them for?
I'll concede if I'm wrong,
Because
but I
you're
haven't
one
been
because
wrong.
they want your one little vote and you getting out there standing up with signs, you think you're doing something?
I'm doing more than most people, so yeah.
Are you doing more than they are?
Yeah, not comparably. It depends on the person.
Oh, okay. So you think that you're advocating more for the trans community than the trans people are?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So again, maybe you should get off of your soapbox and stop trying
No.
to advocate for a community that you have absolutely no idea about other than what your friends have told you.
No, I'm good. I'll stay up here.
Wait, what are you advocating for them though? That's my question.
Oh, you missed the part. Just like basic human rights, respect, being able to go into society without people demonizing them, being able to go into the bathrooms of choice, being able to be identified as the way that they know that they are, not having people continuously argue about them existing and what's right, all of that.
Nobody said that.
Now, I have a quick question. I have a quick question,
Yeah.
Addison.
Love the questions.
Would you actually lay down, or have you laid down with a transsexual or transgender person before?
I have not, but I would.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
So you're
That's
within
the
the
answer.
community
That's
now.
why he's advocating.
Oh, okay. So you are within
What?
the community then.
What part of which community?
It is your community.
I would consider the trans community part of my community. Yeah.
Are a part of the LGBTQIA plus LMNOP alphabet soup, or is that the community you're in?
Yeah, that was a super great, respectful description. Love it.
No, I'm asking. Is that the community you belong to?
The LGBTQIA plus community. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to hop up really, really quick. I'm
Hey,
gonna drop down
Thief.
right after that. Hi, Addison. I just wanted to say, like, you should not disrespect Addison like that. Like, if you have no idea who you're talking to, like, Addison.
Don't talk about
I'm just
what
saying-
the
no,
hell
but-
are you
no,
gonna
but
do
for
about
real,
it?
Like, no, but if you do not know Addison, like, Addison is
We don't
literally an
care.
And
advocate.
he don't know us.
No, Addison,
And
is
he doesn't know us
absolutely
either.
a
Respect
trans
goes both
advocate.
ways, Sir Elphus, or whatever the hell your name is.
I'm just saying,
Respect
like, I
goes
feel
both
like- I
ways,
feel
and
like your
nobody
line
up
of
here deserves
questioning is just,
anything
like,
other than what
way-
they give out.
I just feel like your line of
And
questioning
you can't,
is
you're not anyone to come up here and demand that someone respect someone else, because you're not going to do anything behind your little keyboard.
I mean, to be honest, to Syphilis and Addison, if y'all want to hook up, go ahead. No problems. I don't
That's
see
what
no
I'm
issues
saying.
with
Like,
that.
I mean, what are you
Enjoy
going to do other
yourselves.
than get
do
up
you
here and
see,
stand
like,
on a
how
soapbox?
that's
What are you going to do about it?
disrespectful? Like all I didn't feel like I came out with disrespect. I simply asked you to show respect because I know Addison is.
You
But
don't
you
have the
didn't get
right
that
to
from
ask
Addison
us
when
to
he
do
told me to
anything
shut up
because
to
no
begin
one is
with.
being
Community, and it's really
disrespectful by
helpful. Like,
asking
Addison
this
has done
person
so much.
questions.
Addison is
You
always
don't know
batting
what
for
you're
trans
talking
people.
about.
Wait,
You
did
don't
are
have
you
the
gonna
right to
address
get
him
up
for
here and tell
telling me to
any of
shut
us
up?
what to
Addison
say and how to
spends
say
so
it.
much time actually listening to
Syphilis,
trans
are you
voices.
going to address him for telling me to shut up? Yes or no? Because that's disrespectful, is it not?
I'm not
Did
here
you
to.
say
I'm not here to speak on that. I just
Oh,
want to
that's
speak
the
on
name.
one
oh,
thing.
now we're picking and choosing. Okay, so as long as he
Okay.
disrespects us, it's okay. But when we give it back, then it's not okay. Got it.
I do.
All right.
I do agree that Addison.
Hey,
I
Addison,
will say-
slide in. Hey, Addison, slide
I mean-
in Syphilis's DMs right now. You know what I'm talking about.
It's
Can I
already
just
in
say-
my
I'm saying,
DMs,
like,
but yeah.
nobody was
Shade?
disrespectful,
Wait,
but this
can we
person up
pause?
here
so inappropriate.
was telling
Like,
people
why are
to
you
shut up and
sexualizing-
telling
why
people
is-
to say the N-word.
Why do you
See-
feel the need to sexualize trans women every time trans women are
Oh
around?
my God.
Like, why? Like, why is that the initial response? Like, why is it that you have to make some joke about me being like attracted towards another queer person, like in this call? Like, that is so.
They just said they were. You didn't hear them? They just said they would. So, I mean, what's wrong with the hookup?
Addison and I are friends. Like, Addison is in my DMs as a friend, and so but clearly 50 Shades is like implying.
Oh, okay.
some
So they're already in your
sexual thing.
DMs. Oh, okay. That's fine. Great.
But see, like,
Steve,
exactly, like right there, like that is so fucking weird. Like, why make that?
How is
joke?
that
Like,
rude? You said they were already in your
but,
DMs.
like, you know
Okay,
what
cool.
you're
That's
doing
fine.
when you say it like that. Like, you know what you're doing.
No, I don't. I
has
just
challenged
said
my views quite a lot.
you're already in the DMs. I mean, that's
what-
fine.
What constructive criticism do you have for me? Because I usually always take Steve's constructive criticism because I know that I have fault.
I will say, like, I like Addison, like, and I appreciate when you do take my criticism, but like that also means, like, of course, like, and I think you already know this, but you should of course take criticism from other people as well.
Yeah.
Like, even
Are
in
you
this call. But-
pandering? Oh my God.
oh my God. Okay. Anyways, what I was trying to say is I do think that, like, in the answers to some of the questions that they were asking you could have conceded a little bit. I can't remember specifically what, but like in regards to like the telling someone to shut up, like generally speaking, I don't think it's a good idea to say that to somebody. Like,
All right, that's fair. You're right. I shouldn't say that. I apologize.
No.
Steve is right.
That is so disingenuous.
No, I agree. If Steve has been here long enough and heard us have this discussion, I take their opinion highly.
Okay, so my question is, you lacked the moral compass when someone told you that was offensive to them, but it took for someone else to come up here to tell you that it was offensive to someone else for you to apologize.
Yeah, that's wrong. I mean, I should have acknowledged it. I agree.
Yeah, but wouldn't that go the same for when you all want your pronouns to be stated too? Wouldn't that be behind the same logic?
Yeah, I'm conceding. I agree. I shouldn't have said that.
It's not until someone calls you out on it, someone that actually agrees with you, calls you out on it, for you then now to believe it.
Not exclusively.
So you have a bias then. You're only biased towards the people that agree with you.
Did you not hear the exclusive aspect?
Yeah, but if you insulted someone, it took for someone else to come up here to tell you that you insulted someone. So then how would she even say that your apology was genuine if you didn't recognize it within yourself already? And you knew telling someone to shut up was wrong. Your mother told you that, and your daddy told you that when you were a kid. Were you allowed to tell people to shut up when you were a kid?
I mean,
no.
Was that okay for you?
What'd you have to say, Steve?
Well, like, I don't know. Like, I understand. I think it's very reasonable for you guys to feel like that's disingenuous, of course. Like, and I think that Addison is sorry about that. Like, Addison could acknowledge that was a mistake, and like, they shouldn't have to have me come up. Like, that's why I said that at the beginning, is because, like, you know, that's the expectation that we should all have for ourselves, is that we should like know when to do the right thing on our own. But like, I still think you should allow some room to forgive Addison a little bit for that. Like, I don't know, people do make mistakes. We all get caught in the moment and sometimes want to reject any outside criticism and act blindly. I think mistakes happen like that. So
no, it's just,
Steve, my question is this, right? I did address him about the situation, but he didn't concede. And I think I actually addressed the situation like very fair and etc. on this aspect. You get what I'm saying? And this is one of the reasons why I started to become hostile and etc. because this man did not want to apologize when I already addressed him.
And that 15 actually wanted an apology, because I know I've told plenty of people to shut up before. And if it offends you, I don't care, but I'll apologize. Maybe. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is the apology came after someone else told you to do it. If you were just going to stand on it, I would have had more respect if you would have just said, no, I'm not apologizing.
The only reason that happens is because I can have somebody come in and bring it down to where not one person in this entire chat has apologized for ad homing me and calling me names the entire time. So it gets a little bit more difficult.
What names did we call you? What names did I call you?
You did not.
But you told me to shut up, and I didn't say anything to you. So I don't know. I wasn't here for any of the other things, so I can't speak on it. But I'm gonna speak for myself. And when you told me to shut up, I didn't say anything to you, even after you told me to.
Now it takes somebody for you to be cordial with up here to apologize and acknowledge you're wrong. That means you cannot think for yourself, and you have others think for you. That's a problem. No, it just means that like I can recognize that when somebody that I care about comes in and says like, hey, I hear what you're doing, but like I don't necessarily agree.
So you don't know right from wrong until somebody that you care about says
no. I think I could have approached it better, but I do agree that you interrupting me after you've asked me to answer a question is wrong, and me saying it the way that I did was not the best way.
Because you weren't answering it, so I'm going to interrupt you.
But you've been doing it this entire time. I've heard
I did answer.
Every time someone's talking, you always say, "Oh, great," with the ad hominem. You always have like some underlings going on when someone else is talking.
Yeah, if you ad hominem,
and no one up here yet has told you to be quiet or to shut up.
I think like the best way to move forward with this conversation would be just for you guys to both acknowledge that you made this mistakes, because like it clearly happened.
Didn't do anything.
No, but it clearly,
didn't do anything
immediately when I joined. It happened instantly when I joined, and I heard it a little bit. Like I was listening earlier, and like yeah, there was definitely like these little like small micro comments like sort of directed towards Addison, and it happened to me like with a sexualization thing that 50 Shades said. Like the
and he did it too with saying the N-word. Oh, you're black, say the N-word. Like what?
Yeah, telling someone to say the N-word because they're black.
And I also think that was not the best way to approach that. But I do think that Addison, like I do stand by the underlying idea that Addison was trying to convey. However, I think the way they conveyed it was very abrasive and was too shocking. I think it was not like
okay. And my whole point is this: how did, and that's the whole point. That's one of the reasons. I have a natural aggression. You get what I'm saying? When I start seeing stuff like that, I'm also going to be aggressive. That's going to take me out of my element, especially when I see women being disrespected by a man, because I was raised to protect women. Does that make sense? So at the end of the day, when it comes to you you, Sif, all right? I apologize on how I handled that situation. I don't have a problem with doing that at all. You get what I'm saying? But I'm just allowing people to know where my aggression came from, and I'm not the type of person to let that type of situation slide in that aspect. Does that make sense? So now anybody that's coming into the assistance of him is also going to feel the wrath until this man apologized, which he did. So now I'm cool. I'm laid back.
I think I can understand that. I think Addison, and I think if you guys all just agreed to move forward from this and like tried to bury the hatchet with like the understanding that you all are sorry for whatever wrongdoings you've done, I think you can move forward and have a real conversation.
I haven't done anything.
Same.
I'm not sorry.
I mean, I can't force you to feel any kind of way, so I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of derailed Addison. I'm not trying, and also,
no, you're good. I appreciate you.
I shouldn't be speaking for you. It's just like I felt like this was like not going the best way for you guys also.
I agree. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Anyways, I guess I'll hop down then. But thank you for having me. I hope you guys have a good conversation and can patch things up. All right. Bye.
Bye.
My violence was unraveling in the queue because I left and I thought common sense would be here when I came back, and it's not. So here I am. I want to address the bathroom thing with you, Addison, because you think that they should be able to use whatever bathroom that they want to.
Yeah.
So you think that a grown man should be allowed to go in the bathroom with young girls, which means you didn't learn anything from the Loudoun County, Virginia case where a boy raped a girl in the bathroom for identifying as a girl, right?
I think that's horrible. Yeah.
Okay, so you think that should continue and then open the door for things like that to continue in the name of what?
No, I think that a sign isn't going to stop somebody that's going to do horrible things, but we can recognize statistically that trans people are targeted more when they're forced to go into the bathroom that does not align with their gender.
Let me ask you a question.
So
How often?
Oh, so I can't finish. Great.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My fault.
I would like to focus on the cases that are the majority, not just acknowledging the case that you said that is horrible, whilst also trying to mitigate that from happening too. I would like both things to happen.
Can I ask you a question now? Are you done?
Yeah.
You're a man, right? Correct?
Yeah.
How many women do you see in your bathroom? In the public restroom, in the men's?
Whenever I'm at a concert, quite a few.
Is it a gender neutral bathroom or it's a men's bathroom?
It's a men's bathroom. The women's bathroom's really long. If you've ever been to concerts, there's usually a really long line for the women.
So outside of the concert area, do you see that often?
Like a women's going into a men's?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say often, but I wouldn't say that I never see it.
Okay, but right there, wouldn't that prove right there that that's the majority of the time you don't see it? So right there, a sign is stopping people from going into the opposite bathroom. Also,
the good people. That's the point.
You just told me that you said that a woman and a man is just like based on how you perceive yourself, and you could be trans without transitioning, etc. How do you know that those people are women and not men?
That part.
Wait, how do I know that who's a woman and not a man? Like in what?
Yeah, because you said in order, like you could be trans and not transition. So how do you know that these so-called women in the bathroom, by your logic, I'm using your logic, how do you know that they were not all men?
Like that they're not male? I'm confused by the way you're stating your question.
Because you said earlier that you can be trans without transitioning, etc. And gender is just based on your feelings. So how do you know that these so-called women in the bathroom, in the men's bathroom, were actually women?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? There was a lot of barking.
How do you know those women were women?
And how do I know that a transgender woman is a woman? Like, what do you ask?
No. I asked you, are there women in the men's bathroom? And you said, yeah, sometimes. How did you know that those women are women if they could have been trans men? Because according to your logic, what you said earlier was you could be trans without transitioning in any type of way. So how do you know that those so-called women were not trans men?
They asked me if it was fine if they would use the bathroom. Usually somebody that doesn't feel like they're going into the correct bathroom would ask. The same as whenever I go into the women's bathroom in dire circumstances, I ask and make sure it's okay.
And they said, "Hi, I'm a woman. Can I pee?"
Yeah, they did.
All
not
of them,
in that
all
way,
of them,
but
talking to a complete stranger in the men's bathroom.
yes,
Right.
that
You're
happens to me
disingenuous.
like almost every time I
Yeah,
go to a
that's
concert.
absolutely
you're
not.
lying.
Can
That's
I say
absolutely
something?
I
Did
go
this
to-
guy, did
I
this
go to,
guy
like,
say
4
he was a part
concerts
of
a week.
Antifa? Yo, Ad, are you part of Antifa?
Yeah, I'm anti-fascist.
No, I mean the group Antifa.
No, I'm not. Why?
I was just about to say because I was about to fuck your ass up, bro. Like, for one, you don't speak to women like that. I'd smack the fuck out of you. And the fact that you say that racist shit on here and you get away with it, I don't give a shit if I get banned. I would beat the fuck out of you.
Cool.
You
we-
need a
we moved on
fucking you
from
need a
that.
fucking lesson, motherfucker.
Yeah, bring it.
Well, where the fuck you live? Drop the Addy, Ad.
I'm gonna have a discussion with.
I'm from Charleston, West Virginia, bitch. I ain't afraid. I'll say where I live. Come on, let's go.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna have
Where
a
you at?
conversation with
Where you
adults.
at? No. Where you said drop the Ad, drop the Addy. If you about it, I'll turn my camera on. I ain't no bitch. What's up?
So,
What's up? Turn your camera on, little bitch.
are we gonna move on from the conversation?
Turn your
or-
camera on, little bitch. No, fuck you. This is the shit. This is what the problem is today. Little punk ass bitches like you.
It's cool. I was just waiting for that to happen. All right. So, what was the question?
Can you tell the difference between a man and a woman?
Like, can I make an assumption and it be correct?
Why is everything you? Why do you have to answer a question with a question?
I'm clarifying your question.
Just in general, can you tell the difference between a man and a woman?
I'd say a majority of the time, probably.
Can you tell the difference between a man and a trans woman?
I'd say probably not.
Like, I really. Oh my god.
Okay.
I can't.
So like we were on like the bathroom type setting. Are we still fixated on that? Is that what we're wanting to discuss?
See, it's this when you say stuff like that makes me mad because even there was a case in a high school where there was a boy who said he was trans and he was a boy, and the girls said they were uncomfortable with him being in their locker room because he was watching them get changed. He was making statements that made them uncomfortable. They brought it to the administration. And you know who in that case was in trouble? The girls. They got in trouble for bullying and harassment, and they were in trouble for that. Can you explain to me why a boy should be in the locker room with girls just because he says he's trans, and then when the girls are saying that they're uncomfortable, the person in there that's in trouble is the girls who are uncomfortable. And we're supposed to sit back and think that this is normal for our children in schools.
Facts.
I'd love to know
What do you want to know?
why that's normal, why this is being normalized, why the mental illness that is all of this happening is the only one we have now started to glorify. Would you tell a girl who has that's bulimic that's okay? Would you tell her that?
So first off, disorders are not comparable in how we treat them, and it's not an illness, to correct you. So please don't say that it's an illness when it is not.
Wait,
It's
what?
a mental illness.
No, it is not.
dysphoria.
No, it is a disorder.
What do you
No.
You're saying that gender dysphoria is not a mental disorder?
It is a disorder, not an illness. I'm correcting her.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, is it a mental disorder, Cupcake? Is it a mental disorder?
Certain trans individuals have gender dysphoria, but not all.
Hold on.
Right. Yeah. The ones that don't are they're trend hopping. We get that, but is it a mental disorder? Let me say
Mental
it nice
disorder,
and
also called mental
gentle and
illness.
softly for you.
It's the same
There it
thing.
is, Tina.
It's literally the same thing. Right.
They're not
Thank you, Anna.
classified as the same thing.
Bro, it says also called.
They're synonymous, dude. Deal with it. They're synonymous.
Go look up the difference between illness and disorder. They have a difference.
Okay, we'll say it's different. Now, I don't.
Well, men
I just
and
want
women. There's a
more
difference
stuff.
between men and women too, but you can't seem to identify that difference either. So what makes you think we're going to?
You haven't asked me. I can if you want.
I asked you earlier. I said, "What's a man? What makes you a man?" Well, sports.
And then you're like, well, what does it mean to me? I don't understand a man though. It's a man. But what's a man? Like, answer a fucking question.
I did. Do you not remember any of it? Do you want me to repeat?
Sure, please repeat.
Excellent. All right. So we can recognize that a majority of individuals are born a male or a female, me a male. I was born a male and continued to develop with the gender that was typically associated to being a man. So I am an adult male, a cis man. But my individual gender identity is my own psychosocial development, meaning it was developed over time. And that may have been from social factors of things that I resonated with that may have typically been associated to males in where I lived when I grew up. And it was also internal, meaning I had my own sense of direction in terms of what felt right in terms of how I was identified, whether it be as a boy, a man, a mister, or even having a masculine name, which my name is very masculine.
What makes me a woman?
Do you want me to, I don't know what makes you a woman, but I can define what is a woman.
No, just ask me.
Hey, Tina, what makes you a woman?
A female. I'm female.
Okay. So our...
Wait, but I am curious.
Am I correct?
Go ahead.
Am I correct?
I would elaborate a little bit more because a female dog is not a woman.
Why do you have to elaborate so much?
God.
Like, why can't you just answer a question? Like, these are like literally like 3-4 word answers.
I'm curious,
is not a short answer. That's the issue with these discussions is that whenever I give a descriptive answer,
I'll make it
you
a little
don't want
longer.
to listen. You don't let me even finish.
I am a woman because I was born a female. I was a girl before, and now I am a woman. Is that better?
I mean, yes,
Let's
that's
give
fine.
him an example.
Can I answer?
A little bit too many words.
Am I allowed to answer her?
No, you're not. Let's give him an example. Hey, Chaos, what's a woman?
An adult human female.
Hey, Tina, what's a woman?
A female. A human female, sorry.
Hey, Sammy, what's a woman?
An adult female. Or adult
God
girl.
Damn. Some no explanation, simple fucking answers. Holy shit.
Addison,
there you go. Now use that as your benchmark.
Addison, you tell us, what's a woman?
Sure. So we can acknowledge
you guys
that...
have 15 minutes?
Yeah, hold on.
I get it that humans have been conditioned to like having short attention spans and can't get descriptive answers without tuning out or just interrupting me. But we can look at that a woman has multiple definitions. So typically an adult human female would be a woman, but not exclusively. We can recognize that a woman is anyone that associates with the social traits, factors, identification, or personal alignment with what we typically associate to being a female in a given society.
Bro, you got a lot of word vomit.
Right, many words for saying absolutely nothing at all.
Can you even repeat what I said?
Hold on, Addison, but would you say that our definition of a woman is right?
Can you repeat what I said back?
Oh my God.
Just to see that you listen.
Can you just answer my question? Would you say that our definition for the reason why we're women is right? Yes or no?
I gave that in my description, so yes. You describing yourself that way is kind of, to me, sad that you think your identity is based off of your biology. I mean,
my God, that's not what I asked you. I asked you a yes or no question, just yes or no. Is it right or wrong?
I said yes, that's fine.
That's right.
If you want to identify as a biological aspect of your identity, that is your
We
thing.
are all a biological something.
Your identity
that, right?
is not biological. It's developed.
Oh my God.
This is Psychiatry 101.
This is just reality, Addison. I'm sorry that you don't live
psychiatry, in Psychiatry 101, when it doesn't line up, it's called a mental disorder.
Incorrect.
Correct. You don't live in reality, Addison. We do, and I'm sorry, but...
Reality means exists. Trans people exist, thus are real.
Wait, hold on. Can somebody answer on this panel, any one of you? When did we ever say that trans people do not exist?
If you say you live in reality and I don't, what am I arguing?
I don't remember that. I don't remember ever saying trans people don't exist.
So they live in reality.
Because the allies are always saying that, well, you're not like trans people don't exist. Bro, I didn't say that. Stop speculating. Objection, Your Honor.
So they live in reality.
No, reality is you are a biological male or female. That's reality
Right.
because we do have XX or XY chromosomes. And yes, I understand this XXY and XX and X and all that stuff. I do understand that. But at the end of the day, we do have either male or female chromosomes. That's just a fact. That's reality. Reality is that human beings are supposed to be born with 5 fingers on each hand. That's just a fact. That's reality. You guys will sit here and say that, oh yeah, humans are supposed to be born with hooves. Like, bro, like, listen to what you're saying. It's like, seriously, listen to what you're saying.
And what we're saying, we say that they exist, but we're also saying that a trans woman is not a woman. That's what I'm going to tell you. Thank you, Janae.
She is by definition.
No,
Absolutely not.
Can somebody drop down
an adult
for
human
info?
female. Yeah, I will. That's fine.
I don't. Where do you? All I say for the definition of a woman is an adult female. That's all I say.
Hey, and whoever gave me the gifts, thank you.
No, Webster's Dictionary of Female, someone with the opposite gender identity of a male. B, second.
Can you explain to me? See, this is what I have a problem with. You
that
keep
when I
saying,
use definitions that they don't
no,
work.
No,
I have a problem with you interrupting her all the fucking time. So let her speak.
You're saying that sex and gender are 2 different things, but at the same time, when I asked you why you feel like you're a man, you said because you're male. So why do people say that it's 2 different things, but then at the same time you're putting the 2 in the same category? That makes no sense.
Because you didn't listen to my explanation. You took one aspect of it, and you think that I said because I'm a male, I'm a man, and I didn't say that.
Yeah, you rebutted it based on saying why a dog isn't a woman, a female dog. So why isn't a female dog a woman, Addison?
Because animals don't have gender.
How do you know? Did you ask?
No. Hold on, Tina. So you're saying, okay, so why isn't I don't know, a female plant considered a woman?
Because plants don't have gender.
Okay, so why is a female, adult human female considered a woman?
Because it's a social construct humans created.
No. Did you hear what you just said?
Info's like W.
I just wanted to find out. I just had to ask. I was sitting here like, wait, what? Why? No, the reason a female dog isn't considered a woman is because they're not a human. If that dog just so happened to be an adult human female, they would be considered a woman. The reason they're not considered a woman is because they're a dog.
Yeah, what other species has gender?
Gender?
Yeah.
Well, I would say almost all.
Oh, they
What
do.
about
They
a lion
identify
and a
themselves with a certain gender, or
so you're saying that there's no male and female animals?
No, that's the sex. Yeah, other species have.
No.
sex,
Under you're asking me a question under my framework. You're working under my framework. You don't get to operate under yours when you're asking me a question.
Lion, lioness.
So with that, I'm gonna go to the gym.
What species has a gender?
Wait, what? What was that?
What species besides humans has a gender? If we didn't exist, which one?
Yeah, so I would argue that there's male and female animals.
Okay, but they wouldn't have genders. Thank you.
Okay.
Male and
Did
female
you do something there?
Right,
Yeah,
I was like,
they don't have a gender identity.
Okay. Yeah, you did.
Well, I have a question. Since nobody answered this earlier, if gender is a social construct, how can you be born in the wrong gender, Addison?
Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, that's wild to me. That's a good question. Who asked that?
I personally,
did. But no, they couldn't answer it earlier. But I mean, it's nobody can really answer it. So why don't you try?
Do you want me to answer?
Sure.
Yeah, well, I personally think gender is a developmental thing, so I don't think humans are born with like a preset gender.
Yeah, when you guys ask him questions, he's operating in his own framework of what he believes. So like he's going to answer in these ways, and the whole argument is based on whose stance is going to withstand. And so far, like, neither one of you guys have a stance, because like when you talk about gender, and even if in fact, let's say it is 100% a social construct, in a way, neither one of you are going to be wrong, because I mean, we could sit here and say that the social construct saying that you can just simply identify as a woman has been rejected by society based on how our society has been developed, such as how our department stores are set up, how our restrooms are set up, how our locker rooms are set up, how our birth certificates, IDs, everything that our society has deemed appropriate socially has been set up to acknowledge things like what Tina, Sam, and Chaos are saying. But that's not to say that, he's correct, because there are some ways that it's set up for them, but I would say a majority of society rejects his idea of a social construct.
I would love anything that says that gender is strictly biological, meaning strictly associated to the sexes. I haven't read one thing.
Yeah, it's because you're not going to, because you're saying it's a social construct. So if it's a social construct that's based on each individual person, you're interrupting now. So, sorry, I got low power mode. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so if gender is a social construct, it's going to be different for every individual person. So you're not going to have wide-scale data because it's all subjective. But what we can do is look at how society is set up and how we've deemed it. And that's what we're using to reject your idea of a social construct. So my question is what is considered, like, what is a social construct?
I would say that something within a given society that that the people in that given field culturally have all like collectively either consciously or subconsciously agreed upon as like a standard.
Yeah, so it has to be collectively, collaborative, or a consensus. And so I would argue that a consensus of at least the United States would agree that gender is rooted in your biology. That's how we set up our society. And it rejects your idea of a social construct.
And if that's your stance, because I agreed with you, my stance is that...
That's not my stance.
What is your stance? Do you think that gender is biological?
I just explained reality. I just explained how the United States is set up.
So
I would agree with that. I would agree with that, but that's not my stance. This is a social construct. I agree with the way the United States and our society has set up.
So your stance is gender is biological?
Yeah, that's the social construct in which we've developed.
Where do you have that source that it is strictly biological?
The way that our society is set up.
So your idea of gender is a social construct of what is biological. That's what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is that our society has deemed a social construct based on your genitals.
Typically, but not exclusively. That's the whole
No,
point.
it's explain to me. Okay, so I'll concede to the typically part. What's the majority?
That's why I said typically the majority of people have sex and gender that are congruent. I'm not done speaking. So typically the majority of society has a sex and gender that are congruent. If you're making a claim that gender is biological, there would be some source of data to support that claim, but there isn't. There is more of in favor of like my beliefs is that it is a subjective societal construct because that doesn't need objective data because it's independent to the person.
Yeah, so you don't understand what a social construct is.
What's a social construct?
If you think, sorry, I was drinking water. If you think that you're going to get data from a socially constructed standard, then you would have to use surveys. I just look at what we do in society. Do you not shop? Like, do you not go around? Do you not fill out forms? Do you not go to the doctor's office? Do you not like see all of these gender specific things?
I'm not making the claim that it's biological, though. So I don't need data to support a subjective opinion.
No, you just asked for data for a
you don't have it.
You just asked for data for a biological thing that I expressed. I'm saying that our society, the social construct, did they get banned? Did they get banned?
I think she cycled.
Okay. I drop when people get banned.
I know, right?
Oh, and by the way, like what that Patriot guy was doing, that was pretty fucked up. I don't think that that's cool, by the way. So gender is rooted in your biology based on our social construct here. So if you're talking about social constructs, we've developed the social construct of gender to be rooted in your biology. So what Tina would deem a woman or what Ragnar or Chaos would deem a woman based on our social construct would strictly be your biology. So such as your genitals.
Right, and I want to add in his definition of a female is completely incorrect. The definition of female is of or denoting the sex that can bear offspring or produce eggs, distinguished biologically by the production of gametes, ova, that can be fertilized by male gametes. So get your stupid definition out of here. It's unrealistic.
Well, honestly, I just wanted to come up and ask you about the female dog and debate a little bit. Honestly, I really wanted to apologize for what that Patriot guy did. I mean, I know we all talk shit. We all throw a little bit of shade. But like threats, and acts of violence, I don't think that that's cool. So
a female dog is called a bitch. That's the reason why they call it a bitch, because it's not a human female.
So before I go, can you just say your closing argument? I won't respond, but I would really like to hear it.
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
for you and I, for our conversation, not for everyone else, just what you and I have talked about.
Oh, sure. First off, just want to thank you for acknowledging the person that came up and said those things and not supporting that. I appreciate that out of everybody that came here. You're the only person who's done that. So thank you. I think that there are social aspects that we associate towards the sexes. And I don't know how long you've been here for this discussion, but I've always acknowledged that the origins of gender have always derived and been based off of the sexes, because obviously the males and females in a society are going to have social roles, traits, attributes, expectations that are associated towards the sexes. My claim is that those expectations, those roles, the way that the individual resonates with those ideas of what it is to be a man and a woman are subjective to the individual, meaning that you can't tell an individual that they're not a man or a woman. They're the only person that can tell you that. And that's why we've recognized, I think, that there are no other species that have a gender unless we associate or give them a gender. And if we can recognize that it's solely specific to humans, that it is a societal aspect that varies and has tons of degrees, is dependent on the individual, is multifaceted and very descriptive, and not a short, condensed answer that you read on Google 5 minutes ago.
Come on, AW. Was that last part necessary? Come on, bro. All right, man.
That wasn't a jab at you. That was a jab at Ragnar.
No, I know. I get it. I know the game. This is obviously, I agree with Ragnar. I agree with Tina. I agree with Chaos. I don't necessarily agree with your ideology. But I doing more and more of these, I've learned a lot. And just there's some things you can't tolerate and there's some things you can. And I think we all should at least have the same foundation that threatening someone is not good.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you doing that. I wish the host had the same values.
I don't think the host was here. I think I heard dishes, to be honest. I think they were busy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
Yeah. So I'm just going to head out. I'm going to head to the gym, but I'll be listening. Thank you so much for allowing me up.
Yeah, thanks for coming up.
No problem.
I can't, it froze, so I can't drop down.
Also, to the Arrogant Addison. That's your new name, Arrogant Addison. The definition of female has been
Ad hum for the win.
Many years. So I'm going to tell you right now that I've looked up that definition more than 5 minutes ago, more than 5 years ago. So I don't know where your definition came from or your new definition came from, but it's incorrect.
Webster's.